So this probably isn't gonna be a long interview because, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's just gonna be that long. I'm gonna try to make it quick. Alright, so this is part 2 of my imaginary friend Cesar interviewing me. Alright, Anthony, so how was your day in school today? It was good, but I believe that I did get one reminder slash tally mark in math class to pay attention. Oh, you got another tally. Well, tomorrow maybe we should try to get no reminders, no prompts, or no tally marks, no strikes. None of that. We're gonna try not to get any of those things. Alright, yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna try my best to do my jobs so a teacher won't have to remind me. Alright, now what did you learn about? Alright, so in English class, I learned about a conflict and a compromise. And a conflict is a problem. And my teacher, Miss Bosser, told me to share a conflict at home. My teacher, named Miss Bosser, told me to share a conflict. And I said, and I didn't remember. And then my other teacher said, Anthony, I think you have a conflict that's, I believe she said it was called an internal brain thought conflict. And yeah, and and I can't live where I want to live. Yeah, that was my conflict. I don't like where I live. But the compromise would be me being grateful. The compromise would be me stop complaining. Yeah, the compromise would be that I stop complaining about where I live and be grateful for how I live. And I be patient and wait until my parent is ready to move out of the house that I live in right now. Because maybe it's a good compromise because maybe that would be a wonderful compromise because I would be being grateful for how I live instead of always complaining about where I live, and I'll be patient. Yeah. And my teacher named Miss Henry asked me why do I not like living in the city limits of Wilmington, Delaware, and she also asked me why do I want to live in the suburbs, and I said because I lived in the city limits of Wilmington, Delaware forever, and I want to move to the suburbs because I lived in the city limits of Wilmington, Delaware forever, and I'm not really liking it. And then Miss Henry said, "Oh, okay." And then my speech teacher said, "Oh, yeah, you just want something new." And then I said, "Yes, I do want something new." Yeah, I told Miss Bossert my conflict. My conflict was that I wish that I could live in Pike Creek or somewhere in the suburbs, but I don't. And I live in the North Brandywine neighborhood in Wilmington, Delaware. But the compromise, this is going to be the compromise. The compromise is me being grateful for how I live instead of complaining every day about where I live, and being patient and waiting until my mother's ready to move out of the North Brandywine neighborhood in Wilmington, Delaware, because moving really is a lot of work. So the compromise would be me being patient and waiting until it's time I'm gonna be being patient, and I'm gonna wait until until my parent is ready to move out of the North Brandywine neighborhood of Wilmington, Delaware. And I'm going to, I'm going to wait and be patient, and I'm going to be grateful for how I live. That'll be the compromise. Yeah, me and my, so, yeah, I learned about compromises and conflicts in school today. Wow, Anthony, that was something good. You finally learned something new. Yeah. I finally did learn something new, and I'm gonna keep learning new things. Yes, you are. Yeah. I'm really glad that you speaked up for. I'm really glad that you said what you need. I'm really glad that you participated. Yeah, I'm really glad that you were participating. Yeah, I was glad that I was participating too, because maybe if I didn't participate, then I wouldn't have such a good answer. Yeah. Yeah, from now on, when I'm in school, I'm gonna try my best to do my job. And I'm gonna try to do what I need to do without an adult having to remind or prompt me. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to do what I need to do in school without a teacher or a paraprofessional needing to remind or prompt me. Because, you know what? A staff member could a staff member needs to remind you to do some things, but a staff member doesn't need to remind a student to do everything. Yeah, sometimes students don't always need reminders from a staff member, just like sometimes students, just like sometimes teachers don't always need reminders from students. It's all the same. So, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna try to my best to do what I need to do over what I want to do. That way, I'll be very successful. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do instead of what I want to do. That way, I'm gonna be a very successful person. You got it, Anthony. Yes, Cesar. Yeah, this is part 2. I'm probably gonna do part 3 tomorrow. Yeah, happy national days and happy holidays. All right. Goodbye.